Okay. Let's see what we can take care of today. So in the last stream I was working with this 3D model that I pulled in, not obviously not tracing it because we've got different sizes, a different shaped character, just using it to get a little bit of reference. But we're done with that. I think I'm going to go ahead and delete that layer. And what I'm going to try to do now is come to a decision about what's going to happen in all of this area. My original idea, which I still might do, was to do some sort of adaptation of the trailer that came out with the release of the game. Where we've got something like this going on. So obviously from a different perspective, but the idea originally was to get Malinui looking small and then looking up at Typhon. And I played with that a little bit since my last stream, and I'm not sure if it's going to work or if it's going to work in the way that I was hoping for. So what I've gone ahead and done is I have in my little folders here that may be hidden. Let's see, are they hidden behind my head? No, you can kind of see them. I've got two options here. One option, the easier option I think, is to sub out Typhon for Polyphemus. This is just a pretty straightforward shot of Polyphemus to make him look a little bigger. I've framed him from the bottom so you can see. Let me grab a different color here. If we look at like his hips here versus his elbows, there's a slight perspective shift here, sort of, you know, like almost like a fisheye, but very slight. And I could play around with pushing that a little more, you know, maybe have the hips doing something like this, you know, and then have the arms like that. What does that look like? If we were to do that, let me actually push that some more. And I'm not really concerned with what this looks like right now. I'm just sort of spitballing here. So if we want to push the hips, turn that one off. And this is the elbow, and then we've got like one shoulder would be here, coming down to the chest would be kind of in here, hidden by the arms. And then that would push this shoulder that we had up here off the screen, and then his back. He's got this huge back. Well, no, I don't think I like that. I think this version, well, I guess let me knock this way back, turn this off, and give this justice. Let's try to actually make this look reasonable. Maybe we push it even further. Maybe his other elbow is so far over here that it's behind. No, that's way off center. Let's see. His shoulder would be up here, coming down. We'd see a little bit of the back of the arm in there. Oh, I'm just making it huge. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get rid of this layer. I guess instead of just freehanding this, I could look at what Polyphemus looks like. Novel concept. But let's try it. Okay, so what? And he's got these weird, like, abs that seem to I mean, it's probably just a belly, but they've just got such structure to them. If you look at what he looks like in the game. So we get this arm going across here. Shoulder back like that. And then he's got his like sheepskin that he's got hanging down. In here. So let me just right now I'm trying to make it so that I'm not choosing one or the other perspective just because of polish. I mean, this one I think is a little more polished, even though it is still just a sketch. Let me see, if we just zoom way out, look at it real small. There's this option, and there's this option. Let me see. Let me try. Let me just try opening it up. Reporting for duty. Welcome. Let's see. Of course, there is also nice. Hades 2 is always worth playing. I guess there's another option that I haven't considered yet because it would require redrawing the whole thing. But if I'm going for the Polyphemus thing, there's always this framing where you just put the one character inside the other character. So Melenoi is here, and then Polyphemus is here. And I don't hate that. It's definitely good for playing up the size difference between the two of them. I don't know. I think it's a little boring though. Like, I think, again, obviously I've spent more time drawing this version than the 10 seconds I just spent drawing this. just want to make sure I have the right idea before I start animating, instead of animating and then getting several hours into it and changing my mind. No, I don't think I like this. Let me just make him I kind of want to get him I was going to say get him as close as possible. I guess I could also shrink Malinois some more. Let's see. If I pull her down a little bit. I want him to be imposing, but I want her to be the focus of the shot, is the other thing to think about. So, let's see. We've kind of got the elbows pointing at her. Let me go ahead real quick and just block in the silhouette. Doing a 10 fear, Luminor's aspect of Pan, surface run. Oh, aspect of Pan, you probably want to put Poseidon, because you're really just going to be, you really just want Poseidon on the special. That's the whole build, kind of. Aspect of Pan in early access was really good. Probably the best aspect in the game. But I think they just made everything else better around it. Aspect of Pan is kind of, I mean, it's okay. It's definitely better than Aspect of Artemis, which is probably maybe my least favorite keepsake, or aspect. vibe with oh well, yeah, the aspect of Artemis Trinket, the white antler is the white antler is there for speed running. There are a few things in the game that are put in the game just for people who want to do speed runs, and that is one of those things. You don't ever really use it unless you're up to shenanigans. That's not what a forearm looks like. What is this like? I do think I like this one a little better. Okay, so anyway, there's all this. This is sort of the secondary idea, is maybe I put Polyphemus in here instead of Typhon. I also played around a little bit with how to get Typhon in there. So I want to try a little more to see if I can get that to work. I think I have to be really crazy with the perspective though. Like this whole area needs to be filled up with Typhon. And it kind of makes it hard to fit Melinoë into this scene. I guess I could frame her sort of against maybe like part of the mountain here. Let's see. Again, I'm just being in the idea phase. Ugly art is key. Okay, so if she's maybe like framed by part of the mountain that she's climbing, something like that, and then she's looking up, I need to get him far enough away that he, or rather I need to show that he's so far away so that this size still looks scary. In the trailer they've got like architecture between the two of them. Oh great, my computer is starting to shit the bed again. I could do something like this, like have part of a palace or something, little doorway to it, or maybe this is a temple and this is this more mountain. Let me clean this up a little bit. this up a little. Okay, and then this is like the mid-ground. In here, sort of this whole area. And we want, I think we want this to sort of slope, come on, away. And again, the perspective is going towards. So we could do something like this. And then we see Typhon coming in over maybe he's got, maybe this is all hand. Just trying to sketch in basic, like hand reaching for the camera here. See if this is anything. Of course, these fingernails that I've given him are a little too clean. He probably has like talons, right? Because at one point you fight his hand, so I know he's got big talons on that, but just kind of doing this to try to get perspective, maybe. And again, obviously this is very messy right now. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. He's got like weird little eyes on his arms and body and stuff. Trying to zoom way out to get just like a little thumbnail impression of this. I think this could work. Okay, I think I have a sense of what this would look like, and I think I can make it work. We've got Malinois in the foreground, sort of the hand in the midground, foreground, the hand in the midground, and then this nonsense in the midground, and then way in the background, Typhon's head, which I guess also maps onto the game because you know, I guess when you're fighting the hand, you're in the game, you're doing a top-down view, but Malinois is probably looking up and seeing the whole guy. I could also do, let me take this part and put it onto its own layer like that, just so I can explore a few more ideas here. Let's see, before I get too carried away here, these three are all Typhon, oh, don't need that. That's Typhon, and then these two layers. Okay. Well, okay, let's put aside Polyphemus for a second. The other thing I wanted to think about was maybe instead we have like the Typhon fist, because sometimes he smashes his fist into the ground. So then there's that option, and the hand reaching forward option. Does anyone have any opinions between Typhon and Polyphemus? I think Polyphemus is obviously easier to do. And maybe it makes more sense as a shot because just the 1-2 relationship, it's very straightforward, very simple. Whereas Typhon, on the other hand, it can work, but it needs all these other elements, like I think if we took out the atmosphere, they make Typhon's head body even smaller behind the hand. Would give an even bigger sense of scale. Yeah, I can play around with that, with making the eyes. Okay. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Typhon too. I guess I'll just have to draw Polyphemus some other time because I was kind of liking drawing him. Okay, so let's pull. Let's pull Typhon's head onto its own layer, and then just shrink way up. I think even putting him so far away, and I can make the arm, we can do like shoulder way up here, and the arm can completely fill up the space like that. Character design is very good. You mean Polyphemus? Yeah. Yeah. Every character in this game has just the best design. Maybe I'll do something with Polyphemus later. Yeah, I mean, I think the smaller eyes are a little bit... I do think I want to get most of this screen filled up with Typhon. Like maybe we get a little bit of cloud, or maybe like I don't know, maybe we like throw in some lightning or something over there in that corner. I think I want to follow I think I have some figuring out to do with the silhouette, because I could also throw in another, like his other hand could be reaching around this wall here. Like that. Okay. Well, I think this is a good enough spot to be in to get started with the animation for Malinois. So what I am going to do is take everything here and make an animation file, because we've been working in just an illustration file this whole time. And let's see, do I have... We're going to call it Mal and Typhon. And we're going to put it somewhere. Okay. I'm trying to remember, there is a spot to include a template. Let's see, somewhere I've got a nice animation template that gives me like some folder structure. Let me see if I can find that. Let me noodle around here for a second. Okay. Finally got it figured out. Okay, so I've got this animation template here. Clip Studio Paint has a timeline feature that essentially just turns the folder structure that you have on the side into sequential images instead of stacked images. But you can still stack the images just like regular layers, just like how layers and folders usually work. So what I've done here is, this is a template that I got from somewhere that has like a camera layer if you want to like play around with panning the focus across the screen. It's not like a real, like a virtual camera like you'd have in Blender. But anyway, I also have this folder 1 layer. It's going to be the main layer where I keep stuff, where we're actually doing like the character animation. And then on each cell, I have a folder and then a drawing in the folder so that I can stack multiple drawings on top of the folder, and that will be useful later. But anyway, now I should be able to just come in here. Whoa. Let's see. Trying to get the whole I guess I don't need that. Try to copy everything and paste it in there. Ah, but my size is wrong. Well, I guess we're partway there. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, I see what I've done. Okay. I'm sure this makes for very entertaining viewing, me just messing up with folders. What I'm gonna do is merge visible to new layer. And then I should, yeah, okay. Now I can just take this one drawing and paste it in, and then make it fit. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this will be my reference. can use to actually refer back to every once in a while. For the most part, though, it's going to be off while I get started with the character animation. But my computer is humming louder and louder by the moment. So unfortunately, I am going to end it there. Thanks for stopping by.